so Councillor Akwa better saying
nyamia domeye na onso
adom
the nyamia se
bibi ekoye
nyamia dom ye won kwan die ne mo mpan bo die ye weda nyamia se
very well in the petition Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa the course net no I think Mrs. Smith or the course CHRAJ defendant no who another respondent no now we client ne hwan mo
na my client ne 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th respondents.
Oh, okay. And that includes Sofo Victor
Kusibuate, JNS Talent Center Limited.
Okay.
Sofo Johannes Eshen.
Okay.
And Sheila Eshen.
Oh, okay. Basically, for more in petition or the commerce CHRAJ. Na release ben na osiki from CHRAJ. Na then also CHRAJ any man.
The petition na or they call CHRAJ. Na obisa essentially for 4 reliefs.
Okay.
Reliefs no be for Sofo Victor ne me clients no ho. E bin so for National Cathedral.
Okay.
No ho.
Okay.
Na we the podcast umbe permit na me reading your kind.
No problem.
Or say it is the petitioner's prayer that the Commission 1 investigates the appointment of contractors for the National Cathedral project.
Okay.
Which petitioner believes were done without adherence to the public procurement procedures and laws.
Okay.
2, investigate the payment of 2.6 million cedis and any other payments made to JNS Talent Center from state resources.
Okay.
3, investigate the conflict of interest complaint against Reverend Victor Kusibuate in his dual capacity under separate identities as director of both National Cathedral and JNS Talent Limited and related matters. 4, to take appropriate action or steps for the remedying, restraining, correction, or reversal of offending conduct or actions. And 5, to recommend sanctions for offending conduct or actions.
Oh, okay.
It's in a main 1, 2, 3. When an any main
complaint to CHRAJ. I mean, him say or they petition the call na CHRAJ notify mono. More raise preliminary objection be. Na objection was on what specifically?
Mainly raise 2 objections.
Okay.
First objection is say we share the complaint about public procurement. We have a Public Procurement Act.
Yes.
That establishes the Public Procurement Board.
Okay.
That gives them the jurisdiction to investigate any alleged breaches of that
of
law.
The act. Okay.
It's not dream says CHRAJ can say or investigate here. CHRAJ into one amobi after their investigations. They would have to go back to the Public Procurement Board.
Sure.
So why do you start something that you cannot finish? And then another first objection.
Okay.
Second objection is Usha petition na ya file na. The 3rd respondent ni actually the National Cathedral Board.
Okay.
And yes, lawyers say before somebody can be sued, you must have a legal personality. It's whatever CHRAJ is doing, their findings will affect somebody.
Yes.
But if you mention National Cathedral Board,
what animal is that?
What animal is that, to borrow your word? So either you are bringing the National Cathedral, which is registered as a limited by guarantee, or you mention the names of the directors.
Okay.
Now, the reason being that if you conclude that there had been anything that has been done, and you are going to recommend sanctions or whatever, and I'll be sanction. But who can say National Cathedral Board? Trasana. No one bought nipa crony dia. 1 hour 7 with complaint. Now I responded. Those were the 2 main objections. You raise here.
And the CHRAJ the or more decisions on sa preliminary objection nearby.
Or more by
and or more card
or more overruling objection.
2 nina.
Okay. On the issue of procurement, CHRAJ say even though we have the procurement board, CHRAJ is investigating whether there has been any corruption. In the course of the procurement.
Okay.
If they find that there has been corruption, then it is within their jurisdiction. In respect of the board, CHRAJ say they are investigating the National Cathedral as a whole. And the National Cathedral is a separate legal entity. So the use of the word board doesn't make any difference. They are investigating the National Cathedral as an entity. Until the petition was forwarded to the Executive Secretary
of the National Cathedral
for a response. That was how they approached it.
Okay, until decision on that objection, you also accepted.
We accepted. That once they have laid down the ground rules, they've narrowed down, said they are investigating whether there's any corrupt practices arising out of the procurement breaches. And then 2, they are dealing with the National Cathedral as an entity. It's your forward petition to the National Cathedral office for their response. Yes,
very well. And now a more report on the original petition about out. And maybe boy na yen reliefs, no, because I think relief is the main way near the first 3, you know.
Maybe I try.
And on each relief, a day in a CHRAJ, a kind.
Inti yen share the relief relating to the National Cathedral Board. I almost say there had been breaches of the Public Procurement Act.
Yes.
The report in Ankasa they endorsed. They went through all the previous proceedings anyway, you know. But before that, let me deal with the conclusions on the National Cathedral Board.
Yes.
Push at page 137.
137.
I believe, of the report.
Okay.
But I will start from page 133.
Okay.
Page 133. Or say, taking at face value, this is CHRAJ conclusion. After I go through all the documents that have been made available.
Yes.
Taking at face value, Exhibit 21, Exhibit 21, tender processes, publications, maybe National Cathedral Board, depicts that some procurement processes were followed through, although not within the context of the mandatory provisions of Act 663, which is the Public Procurement Act. It says that, for instance, bids were invited. There was in existence a procurement committee, and there was a tender valuation committee. And these are 3 elements that are required for any procurement process.
In the Act.
So CHRAJ admits to say National Cathedral Board went through these 3 levels. However, per the Act, there's a last level. And as CHRAJ say, however, the award of the contract to Rebade Limited ought to have been with the concurrent approval of the Central Tender Review Committee, given the sum involved, which is above the entity committee's threshold, and not by the approval of the entity committee of the National Cathedral alone. So CHRAJ's problem with the National Cathedral, per Omo report, say, you went through the 3 stages. Now, last stage. And the last stage was that after you have selected Rebade, bring it to the Central
Tender Committee.
And you didn't do that. National Cathedral response at that time, and I didn't represent them, but we were served with documents. And say, in their mind, they had received some documentation from the Attorney General, which gave them the impression, said they need not go back
to the Tender
Review. That was their response to it. That is why, after going through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, they didn't think it was necessary for them to go to the last stage. Now, so CHRAJ's conclusion was that this was in breach of the Act. The last stage or man fulfilled. Now, if you go to page 137, which for me is very key, because the complaint, CHRAJ said they were entitled to investigate because in the course of the procurement process, there may have been corruption. And because it is public money and public officers, they have a right to investigate the corruption, which is CHRAJ Act now gives them that jurisdiction to do that. What time and can we read CHRAJ Act, baby, I can say they have the right to investigate that part. I would pull it out because CHRAJ for jurisdiction, is very limited. If it is Bibina say it is beyond or more jurisdictional, they will not do it. Into section 7 of the CHRAJ Act says the functions of the commission are say to investigate allegations that a public officer has contravened the Code of Conduct of Public Officers of the Constitution. F to investigate all instances of alleged or suspected corruption and the misappropriation of public monies by officials. And so CHRAJ said, even though public procurement breaches your public procurement authority, if in the course of the public procurement there has been corruption, they are assuming that jurisdiction to investigate. Now look at page 137. What CHRAJ said. He said that although the commission has not found any element of corruption in this case, CHRAJ concluded that in the course of the procurement, they have not found any element of corruption. Page 137. Then CHRAJ goes on to say that the extent of the breaches raise reasonable suspicion of corruption. This is why I find the inconsistency
in this case, which is
the procurement breaches.
Yeah, which is the fourth leg now, but sending it to center review committee, breach of that, I'm gonna say it raises suspicion of corruption.
Suspicion of corruption. Now the question is, if CHRAJ, you are investigating corruption, and then you have said that you did not find any element
of corruption.
In other words, you did not find any evidence. How do you now? Because CHRAJ, your duty is not to raise suspicions. I come to CHRAJ with a suspicion, say somebody has been corrupt. A public
you
officer
have to investigate
whether the person has been corrupt or not.
You
investigated, you will say yes, there has been breaches of procurement, but you did not find any element of corruption. At that stage, I expected CHRAJ will end their jurisdiction there. Because the only reason why you assumed jurisdiction is to find out whether there is corruption in the procurement breaches. You concluded that you do not find any element of corruption. And yet you say that the nature of the breach makes you raise
suspicions of corruption.
So who should go and investigate?
And yeah, no something now my referral to
that is the next problem.
AG or Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Because what it says, the basis of Omo referrals, we share the report now. So for example, I'll ask the question. Consequently, the commission is making a referral of this case to the Office of the Special Prosecutor or the Attorney General for further investigations
and prosecution where necessary.
So if you CHRAJ, you say that you have investigated, you did not find corruption,
any element of corruption.
What other special investigation do you expect the Special Prosecutor's
or
Office? The AG does not do investigations. AG does not do investigations. So if all the evidence, somebody came to complain, the person brought all the evidence. You asked the Cathedral Board to respond. They responded. Then in your own wording, you did not find any element of corruption. And yet you say that the nature of the breaches makes you raise suspicion of corruption. So why didn't you satisfy yourself of that suspicion? Because
based on the evidence before you.
Exactly. So once the evidence before you did not demonstrate that there was corruption, because they say because they say no, who CHRAJ on a complainant,
which is not
part of your Juma.
Untiminko complaining ma OSP and I say AG.
You suspect said there has been corruption. Now what makes it interesting is the Public Procurement Board, as CHRAJ quoted themselves per section 90 of their act. So CHRAJ says that they were assuming the jurisdiction of the Public Procurement Authority to terminate the contract. That is what CHRAJ said they were doing. But that Public Procurement Act gives the board, the Public Procurement Authority, or the board, if I may call it that way, the right that if they investigate and perhaps they think the nature of the breaches is not one that has caused the government or was not that, they have the right to ratify the breach. It's in their law. So once CHRAJ has concluded that there was no corruption, then why do you think that if the authority, the Public Procurement Authority, decided to investigate, why don't you think that they may have gone to that same conclusion and said, looking at the nature of the breaches,
let's ratify and let the deal go through.
Let the deal go through.
Because there is no element of corruption. CHRAJ and Swaba to the same conclusion.
Same conclusion. So that is where I find a level of inconsistency
in the report.
In that part of the report.
That part of the report. No.
In respect of the public. Now, you asked about the prosecution. Now, this is where it turns interesting. If you look at the same page 137.
Yes.
This call for investigations and subsequent prosecution directed at the members of the Board of Trustees. Who were members as at 2021.
Yes.
And the executive director.
Yes.
Now, Obi, you and I know natural justice. More so criminal law.
Yeah.
You cannot find somebody guilty of anything unless you're giving the person an opportunity to be heard.
The person, yeah.
That was the basis of our preliminary legal objection.
So, rather than adding the National Cathedral Board as part of the respondent, name specific names.
And then give them the petition for them to respond one by one.
Yes.
You did not do that.
Yes.
Then in your conclusion, you've mentioned the names of bishops and archbishops and reverends
who were not given
an opportunity to be heard.
You know that for a fact.
So they were not served.
Okay.
On more reports, they said they sent it to the board. It's CHRAJ report.
They sent it to the secretariat.
The secretariat. They sent the petition to the secretariat. I'm sure they were not expecting that without naming these members. No. Now you have said these people should be prosecuted.
Should be investigated and prosecuted if necessary.
If necessary. But you should have given them an opportunity to be heard in the first place. Because the petition mentioned the board without mentioning their names. And when we raised the preliminary objection, you said you will proceed because you are dealing with an entity. And yet, because you see, the regulations of CHRAJ, if I may, they have, apart from the act, they have a regulation. It says that regulation, full investigations. So, where the CHRAJ regulations, where the commission decides to institute full investigation into a complaint or allegation, the commission shall invite a person likely to be affected by the investigation. It is there.
Yeah. And a shall.
And then the 6th, the commission shall give a person before the commission an investigation a fair hearing. And so if CHRAJ knew that at the end of their investigation,
it's likely to affect
Apostle Professor Opokunyina, Charles Palmer Bakel, Justice Sophia Krofi, Emmanuel Mate, our Chief Pratt, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams, Dr. Joyce Ayi, Bishop Dag Heward Mills, Reverend Istud Anaba, Dr. Frimpong Banson. You should have given them one by one. We are investigating this. You were members of the board at that time.
Can you respond?
What do you have to say? Maybe one of them will say, all these meetings, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
You did not.
And yet you named them in your report.
In your report. So they've been affected by your report. But the question is, did you serve each of them with your petition?
I think that's a good point. I raised this same point at that report about how many of my say, at least reading through that part, that's the feeling I got. Say one more the opportunity to be heard. That's not a fundamental error. It's a fundamental error of law. Let's Aban is saying, for them as individuals, or more recourse in law, what can they do?
Oh, me sure say omu yempenye for ombenya lawyers on be to
who would advise them.
I won't say you made there. We should no go kasa oh tauti it. Yeah, you see em
Sure.
It ya be
Sure. That's an issue away who with names now about Hano. Very well. Having dealt with procurement issues, now you the second relief and a petitioner seeking. And then
second relief and that petitioner seeking said he wanted investigate the payment of 2.6 million and other documents made to JNS Talent Center. They come home from state resources. And then also CHRAJ at the more conclusion about where no so and I think I'll say okay, let me see. Whether or not, CHRAJ in their conclusions. I don't know, so one, and then maybe we can read what they said about. CHRAJ requested for the evidence of the payment.
Okay.
So the National Cathedral provided a letter that the National Cathedral Secretariat wrote to the Reverend Victor Kusibuate.
Okay.
Asking him that there are shortfall of 2.6 million.
Yes.
And that if he was in a position to assist. That letter was made available to CHRAJ.
Okay.
Reverend Kusibuate wrote to his bank asking them to transfer 2.6 from JNS Talent Limited, that he's a director of, to the National Cathedral account. So it was a bank-to-bank transfer.
Okay.
When, after 2 weeks, when the National Cathedral was now funded by the state, they reversed the same 2.6 million.
Without interest?
Without one kobo.
Okay.
Additional.
Okay.
To that same bank account.
Okay.
Now, the petitioner in the petition complained that the National Cathedral had paid money to JNS for work that JNS had done towards the National Cathedral. So it was like fees that had been paid.
Okay.
Now, his complaint was that Reverend Victor Kusibuate's name appears in the books of the National Cathedral as Reverend Victor Kusibuate.
Yes.
This same person's name appears in the book of JNS Capital as Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. So the petitioner's position was that National Cathedral Board did not know that it is this same person. It is a Udu company Akoji Ejuma.
Yeah.
So he raised that is a conflict of interest. Now the evidence supplied to CHRAJ from both the National Cathedral and the fourth respondent was that at all points in time, in all the letters which were given to CHRAJ, every correspondence from the National Cathedral to the Reverend Kusibuate and vice versa, the names written on it were Reverend Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, also known as Reverend Kusibuate. That is why petition nankasa petition ado file did not throw for papa no or throw no Reverend Kusibuate, also known as Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. So the evidence before CHRAJ was that at every point in time, the National Cathedral knew that it is the same person.
The same person no more dealing with.
And they were dealing with. The same person. There was no doubt in their mind that it wasn't the same person. Secondly, CHRAJ concluded that, and they made reference to all the bank statements that had showed, and they even went for bank statement from the Financial Intelligence Bureau.
Okay.
Just to be sure.
Okay.
Now, it states here in their conclusion yes, the summary of the findings, page 158.
Okay.
That the 2.6, page 159, the 2.6 paid by the National Cathedral to the fifth respondent, which was JNS Capital, was a refund of an interest-free short-term loan granted to the National Cathedral by the fifth respondent at the time when it needed funds urgently. Because the reason why the Osofu put himself in this position was that he was in the board meeting when the contractor said, if you don't top up, we don't have X amount, we will not be able to place the orders from the suppliers. And if we don't place the orders by this time, it will not be delivered in time for us to comply. At that time, the National Cathedral was waiting for funding from the government. It wasn't forthcoming. They said they needed extra 2 weeks. So the Osofu said, I will provide through my company that money. But any cash no they come home. No be because the money laundering and all this. It was a letter written formally. The response was given, bank account was given, transfer to transfer. So it wasn't as if it was for services rendered. No, because a conflict of interest.
Yeah. And that's why CHRAJ concluded said there was no conflict of interest.
In fact, CHRAJ used the term that as lawyers, we always say that the law is not about emotions. Or throwing English language. CHRAJ said that the term conflict of interest has actually been defined in our constitution. There's a definition of the term of conflict of interest. And there are decisions that we refer to in our response. CHRAJ also referred to from Richard Anani case in particular, that there must be the situation where you would say that the person the public officer has put himself in a position where he either benefited or he intended to benefit. And there was no disclosure.
Yeah.
In this instance, there was not one single dollar benefit.
And there was disclosure at every time.
That is how CHRAJ concluded that they cannot find him guilty of conflict of interest.
Wow. And almost like a council said the 2.6 million was just at 2.6 million through bank transfer and Abantria National Cathedral Secretariat Nekano almost I transfer back to baby Omofano
2.6
without any
additional money. If the Osofo had earned $1 on top, it would have been a different matter. Because he would have benefited from it as a public officer. But he did not.
Okay. That was the conclusion on the 2.6 million plus conflict of interest.
And then the last thing that CHRAJ dealt with was the issue of the alleged double identity.
Yes.
Now, that is more interesting. There were two issues relating to this so-called double identity.
Yes.
The first issue were the allegations that so if conflict of, I was looking for page 145. It says that CHRAJ succinctly put, the law on conflict of interest is not a blanket one. It operates within a context, a legal context, if I may say. In other words, having financial or relational interest simpliciter does not necessarily place you in the conflict of interest situation. You must have put yourself in a position where the private capacity interest conflicts or is likely to conflict with your performance of your official duties. And CHRAJ relied on the Supreme Court decision in the case, guess who? Okudzeto Ablakwa number 2 versus the Attorney General. It is that same petitioner, that case, that the Supreme Court set down this. That CHRAJ adopted. It is not just enough, say one mobi sikano, sake sikano. As long as there is no intention or actual benefit, you will not have. Put yourself in that position. Because a emotional or just English language, it is a term of act. So when you use it, you must meet all the conditions. And that's why Betinana make it came, be conflict of interest, no.
Yeah. There are some elements
that you must satisfy.
Sure.
And all the evidence that was put before CHRAJ showed that all these elements were not present.
Very well. Into that on that particular relief, relief number 2. And then the final relief, the Orezi allegation of double identity. Okay. Now CHRAJ conclusions.
There were two aspects of the double identity.
Okay.
The first aspect was that Reverend Kwesi Boateng had obtained 2 tax identification numbers.
Yes.
And so when he was filling the form,
yes,
one tax identification number had a different date of birth, different name for mother.
Yes.
Another tax identification number had a different date of birth, different name for mother.
Yes.
And so that was false declaration. Now, to explain the law on that, as CHRAJ concluded,
yes,
the first tax identification number was obtained in 2013. The second tax identification number was obtained in 2016. At that time, Reverend Kwesi Boateng or Kwabena Jenfi was not a public officer.
Yes.
CHRAJ does not investigate
private
persons except what they have done is in breach of human rights.
Yes.
So CHRAJ said, in respect of the alleged false declaration made on his tax identification form, he did it allegedly in 2013 and in 2016 when he was not a public officer.
Okay.
So we cannot investigate.
Okay.
We can only investigate him for corrupt deeds or anything in that bracket since he became a public officer in 2017. And CHRAJ's definition of him becoming a public officer was when he became the secretary to the board of trustees. To the board. And so that aspect we cannot investigate.
Okay.
Now that aspect too, a letter or a petition had been filed with Ghana Revenue Authority, and they said they were investigating.
A petition filed by who?
By the complainant.
By the
complainant. A letter.
No, okay.
In respect of, they said they were investigating, and this is the reason why it makes that interesting. Obi, you know the law that criminalized having two tax identification numbers was passed in 2016, but it came into effect in 2017. And you and I know that no matter what it is, nothing is a crime unless there is a law that specifically states that this is a crime.
Action, and then
that is what the Constitution says. And yeah, a matter of emotions, and yeah, a matter of moral rights or beliefs, and yeah, law. No. The law is what Parliament says and what the courts interpret and applies. Is that criminal acts cannot be applied retrospectively. So if at the time there was no act that prohibited any person at all
from having two
all these allegations of false declarations are contained in the Revenue Administration Act that came into effect in 2017, not 2013, and not 2016. And more importantly, the National Identification Act that says that the purpose of the Ghana card is to replace the tax identification numbers. And so anybody who has the Ghana card, the pin on your Ghana card, as far as the GRA is, that is your thing. Whatever thing had been issued to you in the past is replaced by the Ghana card number. No. Now the allegation was made that he had two Ghana cards. Ghana National Education Authority wrote a letter that they've done checked their database. There's no Ghana card in the name of Victor Kwesi Boateng. The only Ghana card ever issued is in the name of Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. Now the allegation was also made that he has two passports. One in the name of Victor Kwesi Boateng, one in the name of Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi.
That was specific allegation.
Specific allegation.
Say two passports, no? Ebia with different names.
Yes. Let me read. It's let me read that part of the petition.
Yes.
Asempa FM.
Paragraph 27.
Okay.
Of the petition. Filed.
Okay.
It was also later revealed that the fourth respondent, which is Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi Victor Kwesi Boateng, holds two different passports, each bearing one of his two names with different dates of birth on each document. This was the petition that was filed. Specifically, that he has two passports, one in Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, one in Victor Kwesi Boateng. Now, CHRAJ set that out.
Okay.
Because that was what they said they have jurisdiction to go over. Page 140. The complainant alleged in the complaint that the fourth respondent holds two different passports under his two names, Victor Kwesi Boateng and Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. He states, it was also later revealed that the fourth respondent holds two different passports. They repeated what I just read. To buttress this point, the complainant attached copies of the fourth respondent passports bearing the name Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, but failed to attach one bearing the name Victor Kwesi Boateng.
And you are the passport back one Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi and a womb.
And they come and CHRAJ.
The one who alleged say no Victor Kwesi Boateng.
One for passport to be uncle. Now
okay.
When requested by the commission to produce the passports bearing the Victor Kwesi Boateng name, the respondent, which is the petitioner, by a letter dated 9th March 2023, doubled down on his earlier assertion. Onua oka say papa no two passports no. CHRAJ tro say, "Hey, o say papa no two passports. O de ba ko pe na ba nti ba ko na o Victor Kwesi Boateng fabra." Ono tro letter come CHRAJ obi say no kan. Enya me na make ono na kan.
Okay.
On the request for the fourth respondent Victor Kwesi Boateng, I have compelling cause to believe that he possesses another passport in his name, Victor Kwesi Boateng identity, similar to how he successfully obtained a passport in his Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi identity. So far, I have secured his Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi passports, including a diplomatic passport, which I have duly attached. The search, however, continues for his Victor Kwesi Boateng passport.
That was the response of
the command CHRAJ.
Say, I feel
Victor Kwesi Boateng passport.
So, what was the basis for the allegation in the first place?
On one response, say time or cast as no find a new who nay propaganda, nay suspicion.
Enti following response we afe or the passport ne koya na
up to now obi. So the passport now by me.
And CHRAJ in this report eka say omatwen as our passport ne ma.
That is what they concluded. CHRAJ has concluded. CHRAJ said that they wrote to the passport office.
Okay.
Because when they asked the petitioner, he said he doesn't have it. So who issues passport? Is the passport office.
Yes.
So on the 14th day of July 2023, the passport office, which is the body responsible for the issuance of passports and other documents in Ghana, after stipulating various times that the name the fourth respondent in the name Okudzeto Ablakwa was issued with ordinary and diplomatic passport, indicated that there is no Victor Kusi Boateng in the passport database. And how is CHRAJ's conclusion on this fact erroneous? You yourself, you could not provide evidence to buttress your allegation. You said the search still goes on. Or say the search, however, still continues.
Still continues.
Remember, Obi, this was filed in 20 when?
The petition?
The petition. The petition was filed almost 2 years ago.
Yes. Yes. That should be
1st January 2023.
2023. Okay.
16th January. I can't do 2 years. And this has been the constant duration of that man's reputation. Because Obi, you and I know how criminal it is to have two passports in two different names. Or two Ghana cards. Because those are the Supreme Court says that the Ghana card is the source of identity. You can fall on the passport. Now there has not been one instance where he has applied for or procured a passport or a Ghana card in the name of Victor Kusi Boateng. And the petitioner who made those allegations said he is still searching for that passport.
For that other passport.
Meanwhile, he was making those allegations.
And based on that, it's also CHRAJ conclusion specifically. In the Omoka said because Omanya passport, like passport office sent me more any details.
They said they don't have any database.
Okay.
Of Victor Kusi Boateng.
Any
there
name.
has never been any application for passport for Victor Kusi Boateng
In their database. Based on which CHRAJ concluded that what?
At page 141, based on the evidence before it,
yes,
the commission finds that contrary to the complainant's allegation that the fourth respondent, Victor Kusi Boateng, holds holds two different passports, each bearing one of his two names with different dates of birth on each document. The fourth respondent rather holds one diplomatic passport and one ordinary passport, only under his name, Okudzeto Ablakwa. For the avoidance of doubt, at no point in time has the fourth respondent been issued a passport under Victor Kusi Boateng.
And for you as counsel for fourth respondent, you believe this conclusion ends this whole conversation around double identity or you should double identity any other.
There are two things.
Okay.
We had always maintained before CHRAJ, and because there are some matters part of the case in court, I want to limit the conversation to what CHRAJ has said.
Okay.
That at no point in time, because like I said, in Ghana here, per our law, again, not what emotions or what sentiments or value law. The two forms of identity is the Ghana card and a passport. I can sit here and say my name is Nana Kwame Feni. If what Ghana government knows me by
is what is in the passport and what is in the Ghana card.
Because that is the one we take the fingerprint.
Sure.
So we can always track and trace.
Sure.
Now, at no point in time did Reverend Kusi Boateng apply for a Ghana card or a passport in the name of Reverend Kusi Boateng. And Obi, proud to this, as far back as 2016, he had done a statutory declaration, which has all been tendered in the processes, showing that he's the same person known as Victor Kusi-Boateng and Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. And it is not an uncommon practice for people to say that I am the same person known by this and known by that, or known by this or known by that. Far back as 2016. That is why even if you go to the GRA website,
yes,
they say that if for any reason you would have been issued with 2 tax identification numbers under different or whatever, write to them,
okay,
and let them know that it refers to the same person. It's in the CHRAJ database. That is one aspect.
The GRA database.
The GRA data website. That is one aspect of it. The other aspect of it, Obi, if I say, sir, you have used your names to perpetuate fraud, it means that as I sit here, you know me as Bobby Banson.
Yes.
Then I am dealing with you as Nana Kwame Feni, and nobody else. You don't know that it is me.
Yeah.
So, for example, let me take because we are speaking to law. Let me take the Companies Act.
Yes.
It says that if you're a director and you're a shareholder, you cannot sign a document in both capacities. You need to choose one.
Yeah.
And so, with that correlation, if I say that I am Victor Kusi-Boateng and I say I am Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, Companies law says that you must have at least 2 directors.
Yes.
One director A, Victor Kusi-Boateng, director B, Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. Then you can say I am using the 2 identities
to perpetuate
fraud because I am presenting to the state entities that Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi is distinct from Victor Kusi-Boateng. But in no document that was shared before CHRAJ did you have one document having Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi or Victor Kusi-Boateng as different persons. That is why I indicated that in all the correspondence that were put before CHRAJ between National Cathedral and the Reverend Victor Kusi-Boateng, or even the application for the diplomatic passport, it was stated Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, also known as Victor Kusi-Boateng.
And that's how come even the petitioner
use that name. The petitioner wrote that Victor Kusi-Boateng, also known as Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. So the man had always presented himself as the same person.
I'll come back now for Yashe, because in him said some other processes before the court. And then you ain't mean call into the matter, but at least you tell us where we are with the court case. And one of the things I say Obe responded to Amame, because I've heard critics say, why would CHRAJ come to a conclusion different from what a high court judge Abatu say? Even a competent court of jurisdiction raise issues about the double identity. I don't know what the court exactly said, but we'll deal with that. And then the petitioner following CHRAJ report, a grantee interview, I see a post. I have his tweet on X about 3 days ago. I'll go through it and then I'll pick your reactions. Ekosi Senjune Haya Sempa 94.7 FM. Lawyer Bobby Banson and Aidin Kob. After this short break, to us, so stay with us.
My buddy, life is short. Man for plan, but also man need to enjoy regardless.
Hey, have you heard about Afrilac Lotto?
Afrilac Lotto, what's it about? Tell me.
Afrilac is the biggest lottery jackpot giant in Ghana currently, giving away a whopping 70 million Ghana cedis to its lucky customers.
Wow, that's huge. So how can I play?
Just dial *741# or visit www.afrilac.com. You can play Afrilac games in the morning and in the evening. The morning draw ends at 10 a.m. and the evening draw ends at 7 p.m. They have the mega jackpot games and the classic direct games, direct 1 to 6, PEM 2 to 6, and the banker game. Then you choose your 6 lucky numbers from just 1 to 57 balls. It's that simple.
Oh, I see. So how much can I stake?
You can stake Afrilac games from 1 Ghana cedis to 20 Ghana cedis and above. Winners are paid the same day into their Momo wallet.
I'll play the Afrilac games today to win the 70 million Ghana cedis jackpot.
Don't forget to also tune to UTV toward the live draw at 7:15 p.m.
Afrilac Lotto.
Sikampedidi.
evidence dia kese agana fodi o power jet battery hono ye no kware o efisa me to me kai ma sesa battery be ye de wo ko sesa me discover power jet battery what me kai nya me si kwa mu bi me ne battery issue to kwanta pa ye o enti sese de me ne power jet battery ambassador me mo na nkrofo ka kwa so ma me jump o mo de na makamfo power jet battery mo hu say battery mu gwa hodo power jet car battery the Roxin Ventures na go fava omo Shalom Sport runabout wo community 18 Sprinters Road Felmo 0208090789 and 0242314774 obenya bi so ashama ko wana so Ochinenti Enterprise afi battery shop bi e waboso kan Kumasi Kwame Choba Enterprise Pampaso and na battery shop bi e waso amazing amako Macro Junction every kaso akọ Winneba Junction Swedro Magazine takwa de Jezebel Bia Power Jet Battery Day Power Jet Car Batteries on put that day.
Ecobank Mobile to make me say, oh yeah. Ecobank Mobile to make me crazy. Download it and use it. It gon' make your life so easy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Download it. You go enjoy it. In my ramen chain. In my ramen chain. Come make a download them for you. Cause you can pay bills. You can buy credit. You can pay school fees. Even just tights with the Apple. Ecobank Apple.
Life is easy with the Ecobank mobile app. You can pay your bills, transfer to and from mobile wallet, virtual card creation, transfer to other banks, express account opening, scan and pay, express cash, all at your fingertips with the Ecobank mobile app. You know, it's 5-star life with Ecobank.
Can promise.
My bro, me come out for Jesus.
Ma menim papa nom enuanom ne adofo nom pacho meni fata wachi raba and let me gina akase enam nana akofado enne MPP abanti let my friend me ho mining engineer enam MPP aban enne omo free education policy a omo de bae wachi raba meni ani da so ko ba bia se let me real junior high school atwas akọ SHS mabusuam yen shada ni obi a wosika a obeboae enti no mi ko school na mini adi da so ba bia enye MPP ne na aban a anka mintimi nyina se enni sa dan se enti no Ghana from Pamucho and then bijina hanoma me maame no papa no enuanom ne adofo from Ghana fo nyina me nsada me nsayem me Pamucho se monto aba emma Dr. Baumia na obi wo baabi obi wa akurasi baabi oni ne de aso te semia ne maame ton wache te se de maame ton wache na obi wa baabi ne papa afrim ne maame afrim oni ani da so baabi a monfa monsa kokromoti enko team number 1 emma Dr. Baumia na omwa onkra wo baabi a omuni ani da so baabi a
umaye mabunu dache ho bai wo bra ye to abama number 1 December 7 to abama Baumia
Mama Kuma Tomiomo.
The pandemic has had a generally deleterious effect on the economy of African nations. This has devastated many African economies and sunk them deeper into unsustainable debt and economic downturn.
Rofokasa akane mampani John Mahama ekanu nyina ene se COVID-19 na ebae no amewiase nyina ya Ghana so eka ho aye den yi na ama omambia sikasem aye basa amemu aye de nanso campaign yiduru ye de wadana no osi MPP fo na asai economy abato ho faso e na wopana moma yenyi okandini a odi no pre to abama NPP to abama number 1 to abama Baumia.
Yasandia Babie mo Ghana for Bronye DBS Industries Limited for say one more down is one free. I want in a year free monto. here and so betom roofing sheets a papa. Woman dear Benjamin Sunimu Biabi. One more Baba Bossomo, kama. What yashi? Ain't you waiting any jism? Woman to miss from what the free estimate. Kai says our promotion. If it's a prayer was it 31st December from OCCA. Accra number no 0240 844 444. Kumasi so dear 0506 004 141. Dakra dear 0506 004 242. DBS Industries Limited. Roofing Papa Fee.
For Doormaster, Yamagana for Nina Afishiapa. Yet the Doormaster Save Big Promo, Ebrel Bronye, every 11th November, deposit 31st December, Yama discounter, ebet me drew 30%, Ebana Puno Papa Pa, Emu drew, Etche, Efe, Doormaster Nkwa, and no beard in any tray. Yawa exterior steel security doors, full metal doors, elegant wooden bathroom doors, wooden metal blends, interior turkey doors, Laminox finish security doors, Alicobond finished security doors, durable cement board doors, stylish pivot doors, and glass doors. Found Doormaster Save Big Promo yimo. Na save big, ewo over 400 designs. Doormaster won krabata du mienwa. Ashita wosu and sawem Kaswa Kumase and crying so ubehuye wo kwabenya ACP Estate Junction. Afin so tema Community 25 at Depa Junction. Dowenya kwine so. Fred 0548 402640 and now says 050-589-2268. Doormaster, the best indoors.
A son so my gun a guan boasso, a dish of impino and a do no nail penny about 20 tenor. A was a yashi yepa. A son see won't go for people no more, or the London some no kureni, no Obamania in him. Intene seba na mane bobi pese ho no kure wo mu dia ene na hye ne manan so de dikan baby amane boni fira eba no hwese insentwere kwa wodro bo amane akrogen no wo be hwesansemi a watena de firi ho no na so se wadwemu ye wo na ade a ene na abefo kro na wo ko yekoye nhwehwemu no kobia watwero about es no na kenkan ni ye na de etosumie no nso de otwo sansem no ye ne mo hwehwemu kakra samre yi die wono mo makwadere enko na betimi ajo mama ne bo edi te sabato komisa ena national Commission for Civic Education. Nemprensa so no. Sama ne bo awonsaka no. Pensem mu. Hwatifia sam ne de echere. Kasamfonya na semfonye ne so. De na echere. Ne krakra no. Kwa befo so. Nabogana.dubawa.org. Me hwe ma ne bo no mu wo ho no. Uwia. De echi wo social media so. Ne ke WhatsApp channel no eho. Sankratoi. Dubawa and a US Embassy Election Literacy Project.
Ghana menina yemreni o oyo man ye John Mahama ne Professor Nana Jeno Pokwajiman se wo baba mu a wo bese emesi kakrabia Women's Development Banker e man ko na be ye ho adwuma sikakrabia be time ma echi ama omobosia de ye adwuma ehun si ho ne ye ketu abi e free hairdresser fo so adesuafo ne yen afe na ye bi adwuma adepanfo e ma akuafo yen a ye nam kwan ho ton ade ne yen a ye didwa abefo kwan so ene enwuma wodo a Mada no nyina benya chefa wo mu a yenyi wo bia nsinchen no kwasam ne se John Mahama ne Professor Nana Jeno Pokwajiman ye o man panini na bedi eche wo man mu a emma benya gina bia papa so abama nsakrai papa so abama John Mahama ne NDC.
My oh my, Fiona FSA. This is a classic modern house. Unim se, baby I would take na train pakwa. Oh yeah, I don't see ho cancel a dozen. Enti, men too sika nwu kusifie bia kekeo. Sidaya nchima de bekayo. So what wasasin kwa dia. Makasebels and design ufie no na won Samsung simao. Ye would nim difua or nim dear wo adansiemu. At Casabels, we design and build luxury and contemporary houses. Be it private residence, hotels, schools, or commercial apartments. Locate Casabels at Plantville's Residence, Akoko Photo, Dansoman. Call 0543-297-333. Visit www.casabels.com. Casabels.
Anytime I feel lonely, feeling sad, only one station makes me happy. When I wake up in the morning, only this station makes my day. Yeah. Oh, Asempa, 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 Asempa FM. Oh, Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM.
94.7 Asempa FM Sony ekosi sen dwumedie no wasogo so a utie no ma yena mo asene ma munyina akwa ababio na yemfa sedama wona oboa me de ekosi sen ebremo A2Z Auto Service Unlimited eka ho me pacho se o car na opese spray e ma opese detailing ye waxing for everything auto needs na A2Z Auto Service Unlimited car parts na wo pe ato ni nyina wo kwa obenya bi e wo ho ene o makofa training no waso bi aba auto diagnostic machine, how to use it. Na omode model bi aba Hotel brand name Hotel American brand solid. Na omoma osa machine bi na wo si car so a fault e wo car ne ho bia obi ho. Omo ye training on how to use sa machine way. O register to be a participant ye be chew diagnostic machine back for free. Once you register ubenya back for free unso betimi use. And with this training no you can start an auto diagnostic business. In fact, say unye mechanic impa once you know how to use our machine way no ubet must start your business and for your car beba no watch on fault e work car na wona bibia etumi akoye 4 training sessions and I will be go through. Once you are done, you'll be able to identify fault codes with pinpoint accuracy and solve any mechanical or auto electrical problems. A2Z Auto Service Unlimited ewo Medina Ritz Junction opposite Latter-day Saint Church. My number is 0240 202-828 0240 202-828. Na oni omo into me enkasa. Fontina 74 se wo pedra as a boa a support with general well-being. Se kidney yare ena wenya ebeboa liver, high blood pressure, ulcer ena wa ni nyina no Fontina 74 itu ase ema diagnostic herbal na de abadwa so mo number 0246 073 498 na oni omo into me any enkomo me pacho say ope ultra modern building designs and architectural drawings o dine na opese obi esima building construction say o dine da na aye dada opese e renovate o dine no ema me pacho Kese Belts Limited and American for amount Kese Belts Limited say ope design and build stunning luxury and contemporary houses a Kese Belts say private residence, a commercial apartment, a hotel, a school for private individuals, corporate institutions, organizations. Ninyina more ebia more masase dada. Now pesi eba be si dan amount. Kese Belts ebe amount. Your civil engineers and architects have very high in-depth knowledge and skills in building designs and building construction works, and they do not compromise on quality into Uba Kese Belts are. Oh, yes, sit down, Kasa men Canada. Phase by phase construction funding plan. You know better nase. Ne a chose dan we apesi yesima wa ni nyina abuoni by every phase. See a foundation a de obetua ni ye we a de obetua ni ye we a de obetua ni na yesiu dan na ma kama. Your Plantville residence and wa akoko photo dan soman Kese Belts number ni 0543 297 333 0543 297 333 Kese Belts Limited. Omo boy juma papa men Canada in the motion and so emfa MIA Doormaster save big promo nso yeguso in this festive season so oba beto ade or Doormasters are yema 30% off from November 11th and say December 31st and eba ewiye yapnono oba say exterior steel security door, full metal door, elegant wooden bathroom doors, and every kind of door. Ubenya bi ewo ye ho etimi ato Doormaster ye din ene ye honam ese ye wo branch ewo Pobiman Toll Booth Ashalaja. That's Pobiman Toll Booth and Ashalaja 3rd October hon so ubenya ye branch ewo ho Suhum Fianko near the Islamic Girls School, your branch ewo ho. Obey ye no so by Forest Reserve, ubehu your branch ewo ho. Kwabenya ACP, your branch ewo ho. Estate Junction and so your branch ewo ho. Intimunction and so. Emena Tema Community 25 Dawenya Road, so ubehu Doormasters, your branch ewo ho. Mo amu Kumase no, ye wo Kumase Ahinsan opposite the China Mall. That at the junction where Ubenya branch or frame it was 0548 402 640. Now on the doormaster in the encomo. Bobby Mamin Simra will hope you enough a yenche. A high court, a court of competent jurisdiction, high court judge, ama a decision be on this double identity. At the end, your Montia says, CHRAJ bet me about to a conclusion which is at variance with a high court. Richie, I don't know what can hold
say, Hannah, Sarah Mekan, running and Yenya, send your old said, yeah, Parliament, I can near court. Now, that's what led to our case. Reverend Kusi issue honorable Okudzeto.
Yes.
Say, Kwaya Okudzeto efa or no Reverend Kusi the passport. I would say any private document. Ne ID cards be Sebio o two kwan kra no jina airport. Sa immigration e yina ushem twa camera no. Honorable to me enya pictures na okotwa wo sa immigration or airport no. Na ya ne na kakra. No de beto to ni social media page. Say Usha Ghana your Data Protection Act. Your Right to Information Act. Say obi personal correspondence a public go into public hands no. To me enko just say why apply akwa permission through the right processes. And this Article 17 say of the Constitution. Obi any right to privacy. Entina sabi uni obi kasakra no anje permission now record na. Otumi ma ho kire. Sure. Enti ya file sa suit no. Na sa suit no ya file no after CHRAJ petition.
No. Okay.
Dia na was CHRAJ petition no so no. Victor Kusi Boateng alias Kwabena Edu Jemfi.
Yes.
Honorable file no.
Yes.
Say dina na de file
court no, against
Okudzeto. The issue before the court was whether or not the act say yamana na honorable na ya say or then a passport pictures baby onya no and or then to ne Facebook page ni social media handles whether it was in breach of the Constitution in terms of right to privacy, the Data Protection Act no. Now honorable lawyers raise objections say because there was a tax identification number for Victor Kusi Boateng and a tax identification number for Kwabena Edu Jemfi. Enti obi wo hwa ye friend Kusi Boateng and obi wo hwa ye friend Kwabena Edu Jemfi. Enti omo presentation say Victor Kusi Boateng no e different from Kwabena Edu Jemfi. Omo ye nipa mienu. Enti omo ntumi file suit as nipa baako.
Okay.
Enti senti court no embongu because court no nim se Kwabena Edu Jemfi na wasuo se Victor Kusi Boateng na issue. Any a respondo say Sabita Flatcher wow petition ade call no. Who say Kwabena Edu Jemfi Victor Kusi Boateng. Wow social media positions are a post why who say the same person.
Okay.
So there is no doubt to say yama na we no. Now nim say nipa baako. Sabi tax identification number so enkyere say obi distinct from another. That is not the measure of tax identification. The purpose of tax identification number. Tax identification number doesn't give you legal personality.
Sure.
Unfortunately, the court held a contrary opinion.
Okay.
Say court na dream no. Once I kita two tax identification numbers no, e nipa mienu different.
That's the conclusion the court.
The conclusion the court gave.
Okay.
Enti ye will be a friend of Kwabena Edu Jemfi. Onu ye nipa asimesi. And ye wa benten so e friend of Victor Kusi Boateng. Enti court ni trim no, enye nipa baako ne ye friend of Kwabena Edu Jemfi. And ono e san friend of Victor Kusi Boateng. San Okudzeto ko kan wo court o say obi e friend of Kwabena Edu Jemfi no. Enye ono an e ye Victor Kusibuati.
Even though na ono
wachro say enipa baako. And a court no G.S.A. 2. The court no G.S.A. 2 no. Court no anko into asem tituning tia.
Na eda court.
Eda court no. Wanko o say ono no ohun se kwabena edu jemfi na abaw. Se Victor Kusibuati na abaw. No ono ni trim no esono kwabena edu jemfi. And esono Victor Kusibuati. Meanwhile,
the same person. Into the issue before the court, which was whether the action of the honorable member breached Article 17.
The court didn't go into
data protection. Court now
go into it. The court didn't go into it.
Into Oruli on a matter of capacity.
That's all. Said there are two distinct individuals because Victor Kusibuati has a thing different from Kwabena Edu-Jemfi. So as far as she is concerned, once you have a thing, you're a separate human being. And if you do, and another thing means you're a separate human being.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't go into the merits. In that her conclusion or Mansa decision that part I thought was obita.
Yes.
Say it is criminal to have the two. Now the question that I asked myself to those Oka critics, if the judge had the jurisdiction and thought that the matters before her was whether or not a criminal, why didn't she proceed to sentence?
To sentence.
Or to recommend for sentencing.
Yeah.
But we have appealed against that decision. So it is going through those processes.
Okay.
Also. Yeah.
And it will be unfair for anyone to use that decision to come and counter CHRAJ findings.
Because in law, no, when you take a decision of a court, the part of the decision that is binding is the ratio.
The ratio, yes.
The ratio is what has decided the issues before the court. The issue before the court was whether or not whether Victor Kusibuati is a criminal.
Yeah.
That would have gone through a criminal process.
Yeah.
So that can never, because if that was the case, the petitioner, of course, CHRAJ, and call this our judgment, you know. And the CHRAJ for say you really saw a criminal so you can I don't want because CHRAJ jurisdiction cannot entertain matters that are before court.
Before court. That's true.
So if they believed that decision is binding, they could have shown it to CHRAJ.
Very well. When having dealt with Enono, and now following the release of CHRAJ reports, this is a tweet by the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, and I think he made several tweets on this particular issue. One on the bit about the award of the contract, and CHRAJ findings. He shared that one, and later Obabe share we so or say how CHRAJ erred and let Ghana down in the Reverend Victor Kusibuati / Kwabena Edu-Jemfi double identity saga. 1. CHRAJ failed to explain how an individual can be appointed to the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral as Reverend Victor Kusibuati, born on 7 September 1971, but is issued a diplomatic passport to perform his official duties in another name, Kwabena Edu-Jemfi, with a different date of birth as 30th December 1969. See attached the incorporation document of the National Cathedral Secretariat stating that Victor Kusibuati was born on 7 September 1971 and his diplomatic passport with the name Kwabena Edu-Jemfi, born on 30th December 1969. And in the first issue,
the jurisdiction of CHRAJ is not determined by tweets.
Okay.
It is determined by law.
Yeah.
The jurisdiction of CHRAJ in respect of public officers are matters that you have done that is corrupt, abuse of public office or public power, breach of code of conduct of public officers. These matters that were referred to, CHRAJ in their reports, they addressed them. They said the complaints that you are making were allegedly done in 2013
and 2016.
But at that time, he was not a public officer. So if you feel that what he has done constitutes a crime, there are appropriate state agencies that investigate those crimes. And yes,
CHRAJ. For you to even fault CHRAJ.
Yes. They raised it and they said we can't go into those matters because at the time you claimed he did those things, he wasn't a public officer. So go to the appropriate state agencies that can investigate those matters.
Okay. The second point is CHRAJ failed to work with the evidence from the Ghana Revenue Authority, which I duly presented in my complaint confirming that Victor Kusi Boateng and Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi are two distinct identities in its database. GRA also confirmed the different date of birth, different things, and different mothers. See evidence of GRA's response to my right to information request, which was included in my petition to CHRAJ.
Again, CHRAJ said the dates that you claimed this offense or this whatever had been done was done before he became a public
officer. In the Omuntumi. Okay.
Because if you say that he has done that, CHRAJ does not investigate crimes.
Yes.
CHRAJ only investigates corruption, breach of the code of conduct of public officers, abuse of public power, office, and then conflict of interest and related matters. So the fact that Ujin said Obi is not everything that CHRAJ has jurisdiction over.
Based on the 2 points, he was expecting CHRAJ to do BB as CHRAJ in the
jurisdiction. And CHRAJ said it in their report.
Good. The number 3, CHRAJ failed to assess the database of the DVLA, which confirms that Victor Kusi Boateng was issued a driver's license in the name Victor Kusi Boateng. See evidence attached.
What date was the driver's license issued? Did he put the date?
I think, or can I see evidence attached? Let me see if the evidence captures that. Let me see. Okay, I think this should be it. No, where a passport. This one looks like the passport. Okay. I don't think the Okawahase first name, blah blah blah. It may be the bit about okay. Okay. Into the driver's license, the short of the driver's license, no enkaho ewaha. I don't know, Sebia or the car, the way in how they call court, they call before CHRAJ there. I was trying to look for. Okay, into you are saying, sir, driver's license need date and so no. That's the role of the date no would be what?
Because if you claim he has done something,
yes,
at the time he was not a public officer.
Okay.
CHRAJ does not have
jurisdiction to investigate. Okay. And you say CHRAJ failed to assess the database of DVLA, which confirms that Victor Kusi Boateng was issued a right. That's something he wanted CHRAJ to investigate. Not CHRAJ based on the date that card was issued. And 4. Also, CHRAJ failed to assess the database of the National Identification Authority, which confirmed that Victor Kusi Boateng's Ghana card was issued in the name Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi.
Now listen to the sentence. Victor Kusi Boateng's Ghana card. The person says, give me a Ghana card as Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi.
Yes.
Which the law says that every Ghanaian is entitled to one.
Sure.
In one name.
Sure.
He has said that I have only obtained one Ghana card. I had never obtained a Ghana card in the name of Victor Kusi Boateng. And CHRAJ, the National Identification issued a statement
to that effect. Okay. And I'll say CHRAJ failed to assess the Electoral Commission's database, which confirmed that Victor Kusi Boateng was issued a voter's ID as Victor Kusi Boateng in 2016, with voter's ID number blah 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 at age 40, and issued another voter's ID in 2020 with the name Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, indicating his age as 50. Curiously, he grew 10 years within 4 years. The 2020 voter ID card number, see evidence of the two voters' ID attached.
So what is the issue that he had at that stage? To prove that in 2016, before he became a public officer, he was identified as this. In 2020, he has never said that he was issued with two voters' ID cards or two driver's licenses at the same time. He had never said he voted twice. One voter's ID card with Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, another voter's ID card with Victor Kusi Boateng. For you to say he has used the two names at the same time as if they are two distinct individuals.
And again, CHRAJ failed to take into consideration the judgment of a high court on 13 July 2023 when Victor Kusi-Boateng / Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi lost his case against me, with the high court judge stating categorically that his conduct borders on criminality. See relevant portions of judgment attached. And that's what you dealt with.
That is what I dealt with.
Yeah.
And the way sometimes, Obi, you remember this matter once we were in the Court of Appeal for some interlocutory applications. We left court and I saw all over the news. Court of Appeal throws out, including publications from this outfit. Court of Appeal throws out Victor Kusi-Boateng appeal. Victor Kusi-Boateng. I was like, is it a different court that I went to? We were dealing with interlocutory as we stand now. The appeal has not been heard.
Our substantive appeal
has not been heard. And yet there were reports in the media, on social media, that the appeal has been thrown out. And I asked myself, what kind of, because if my opinion is that, or my thinking is that if you have an opportunity to use any media, either mainstream, to shape opinion, you don't feed the people with your emotions or your opinions first. You give them the truth, the facts. I always say we cannot have two facts. We can have only one fact. State the fact and let people know that this is your opinion based on the fact.
Based on the fact.
And give people opportunity to also determine what their opinion will be. But you don't substitute your opinion for facts.
In the CHRAJ failed to take into consideration the judgment of the High Court. Now, was that judgment a part of the body of evidence?
That is what I'm saying. No. Why didn't they present that judgment? That is what I asked. Nowhere in their petition did they add that judgment. Nowhere in their petition did they file that judgment they are now relying on. If it was indeed binding and a ratio, not an obiter, as lawyers called it, they could have attached it.
But I know so no failure to attach it, no. Say CHRAJ feels say relevant to come to a conclusions now. Could CHRAJ have referred to
they could have asked, because when we appeared before CHRAJ, you would see in CHRAJ's report that when they invited us and we appeared, we told CHRAJ that there are various aspects of the matter
in court
that were pending in court. They can procure all those. So they made reference to it in their report.
Okay.
If that judgment, why the petitioner was the petitioner, could have filed it and said, listen, I have a judgment already, so this matter has become moot. You don't even have to investigate it. I brought it, but I have a decision from the High Court, so it has become moot. I'm withdrawing this relief. Let's rely on that decision.
On that decision. And the tweet ends by saying, it's most regrettable that CHRAJ appears not to be bothered about damaging its own credibility with this ridiculous whitewash of the criminal double identity scheme of Reverend Victor Kusi-Boateng / Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi. In any case, how does CHRAJ's claim that Victor Kusi-Boateng possesses one passport in a different name, Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi, whose date of birth is different from his Victor Kusi-Boateng date of birth, clear the double identity champion? Desperate propagandists must respect the intelligence of Ghanaians. No one can suppress the truth and win.
Obi.
Yes.
I mean, I do not intend to go. I'm not a social media person. I know how to tweet like that. So I want to read a letter dated 9th March 2023. On the request of the fourth respondent, Victor Kusi-Boateng's passport, I have compelling cause to believe that he possesses another passport in his Victor Kusi-Boateng identity, similar to how he successfully obtained a passport in his Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi identity. So far, I have secured his Kwabena Edu-Gyamfi passport, including a diplomatic passport, which I duly attached in my January 16. The search, however, continues for his Victor Kusi-Boateng. The person who tweeted this is the person who told CHRAJ that he doesn't have a passport
with the name
Victor Kusi-Boateng, contrary to paragraph 27 of his own petition. So I'm leaving. This is the facts. I'm leaving the conclusions out there.
Very well. Into part of because I mean him said assembly started mo file a defamation suit.
Yes.
And where that's what court.
That's what court I share trial as.
Okay.
The plaintiff is about to close his case.
Plaintiff in this case near
Reverend Kusibwati. Yes. So his witness is in the box.
Okay.
We are expecting or hoping say Honorable so Ebeba Adaka. Because he's the defendant. If he wants to.
Okay.
Yes.
And the defamation one. Are there any aspect of that's what court?
One say you file a rate for defamation, no? Any you file a rate for defamation in privacy action. Those are the substantive matters. You file a rate for defamation, no? Time na bailiff no kwa 7 no. Star rate no ni bailiff ni encounter. And you file a application for committal for contempt. And that application for committal for contempt, again, the High Court did not go to the merits whether the action was contemptuous or not. Or say, because the Honorable says he was going to Parliament, the bailiff should not have served him.
Okay.
So, because the attempted service was breach of the Constitution, he will not go into the conduct that came after.
Okay.
That decision in that contempt case is a subject matter of an appeal. And then you call who interlocutory rulings be sometime I appeal court or musi or we appeal now. That appeal is pending. I court on the 4th of December. So that appeal is pending. And an appeal in respect of the privacy matter now may say judge only dismissed it on the grounds of capacity without going into the merits.
Yes.
That is also pending.
And also a court. Yes. Okay, that's interesting. At least will be a OTNO is now clear on where matters nina ewo. Bobby, my say minim final way wow the betu Ghana fe yem fan komono emra ewe. I believe say there was a question there wasn't bibusa obi ametimi ebusa unless say for ewo question be ebusa on this na wama yen ehun ekosi sense na higher sempa FM ye behwe ne ye de komono esi Bobby any concluding
senia unime na ya na sabio yen shadam pe bedwem kasepi and so you see when you tree
you one kasa
you born eti once same way fa ye nyina ye ho Ghana ni bia so you interested because you see sabi so bi na say ye de me yonko ye de me and e bia na asimesi nti ochine bi na bia akoye se na mekan ye no me de mi hwade so send you be who media ne politics ne yi ne de so when your opportunity say who be frame opinion public opinion who be influence public discourse and now you expect some level of candor say first me can say obi no one can't yen yi antre me ntimi ana me kan me bo yenye ni say sa no na ye de animonyam bi aba ejuma no ho. And so say you na yet on na ka say okay nipa ba kon no nko na de sabio de bi o kan sem say ni say na ade no nso enya no kre ono ani document ni na yi a o de ba ye ni say na kire na say me man opportunity ama public na hu no kre wo mu na man boa me man
sure
na sofo no nso a me gina mu ma no nso man boa no Sabi ono on to me read 130 something pages in na embe chire mu senia me no yate ase a ye 164 yate ase a ye chire mu na CHRAJ se onye boni bia enso na nkrofo gu chire ka se da bi sabi waye boni yakoye say and I saw some words as shabby describe CHRAJ na see say obi na wako influence CHRAJ. Meanwhile, CHRAJ man ruling on preliminary objection. It was blasted all over social media. So CHRAJ there, they will continue to defeat us. Blah blah. The same CHRAJ. And my aspects of your reliefs did not give aspects of your reliefs. Fresh CHRAJ also from saying propagandists should not insult
the intelligence of Ghanaians.
You sue harsh words against CHRAJ. It is building to mean building institutions. Me buy aspect of CHRAJ report no me nyadwen. But we be a law no. And I can ntia me nyadwen show we do omo law na say na tie man ka say omo ye propagandists. Because when you do that, you are attacking the institutions that we are building. For political expediency or for popularism or however it is called.
Okay, I think I'll say it is most regrettable that CHRAJ appears not to be bothered about damaging its own credibility with this ridiculous whitewash of the criminal double identity scheme.
Enti wa can say obi wo 2 passports. Actually, as if a passport no bra. Usi who second passport. Who yemfre say?
Is there a portion of the CHRAJ Act? Because as a complainant be misleading CHRAJ to me recommended for criminal prosecution.
Obi, interest will be such a question. Yes, indeed. CHRAJ Act no. Oma yebida. CHRAJ yebida. Say if you file a complaint, now we intentionally misled CHRAJ dismiss a complaint now, or if they can decide to recommend for prosecution. In the instances where we pleaded that at the time of filing petition, now on himself Papa need 2 passports, which he has confirmed in his response to CHRAJ. And yes, no, kita 2 passports, no, and was started showing. To know him so need 2 passports, or say I feel no,
you know, establish the element of intention.
Of intention and malice. Secondly, Tamoka Sepapana could disika 2.6 million. National Cathedral had released a statement. An attached bank statement in a report to explain say and 2.6 so no nim and so of course why or and yakwa from 2023 January and yababisi he and a sema near Canada no and one CHRAJ
about to that conclusion.
Abeso me we have also moye propagandist.
There is this question and I think it was also repeated in honorable tweets and say the appointment of Sofo Victor Kusibuati in that name onto the board and a diplomatic passport given him as Kwabena Edujemfi. Why that?
It was a medical say the appointment letter. No?
Yes.
Kwabena Edujemfi.
Okay.
Also known as Victor Kusibuati.
Okay.
And ordin a statutory declaration no year no 2016, you know.
Yes.
Emma National Cathedral for na say
the same person. Okay.
So at every point, him so yes for Victor.
Sure.
And he was being appointed in that capacity as for Victor.
Yes.
But he disclosed to the appointing authority and gave them the statutory declaration.
Okay.
Which National Cathedral has provided.
Okay.
Say ejina wensun tina letters now. Say Honorable FILA agent answer my Foreign Affairs Minister Banson.
The
question we were Parliament.
And even though Victor Kusibuati was on the appointment letter, no, Elias Kwabena Edujemfi, the diplomatic passport name of Kwabena Edujemfi no, was consistent with other
all the passports that he's ever had.
Kwabena Edujemfi. Okay, very well. I think it settles it. Ma me say, Bobby, bibi any ebe sign ready come.
I wish you very well. Opportunity.
Ma yentie we mra ye